Hello, quick video today. I'm going to show you guys how clean this engine looks inside because I've decided to take it upon myself to do valve cover gaskets. Now, it's a fairly major undertaking on one of these Toyota UR Series V8s. There's a lot of stuff in the way. See, the driver's side here is pretty much all still assembled, and there's quite a bit in the way. And there's even more on the passenger side because of a coolant line there. And it's all taken apart, got the cover off, replaced the spark plug tube seals, and got to replace several O-rings in there. So here's the big reveal. How clean is a 412,000 mile 3UR FE? It's pretty clean. You know what's super cool though? Take a look down here as well. That timing chain guide looks fantastic. Like, it looks brand new. The chain looks new. I mean, I've never had a chain rattle issue. People complain about these having issues with the timing chain rattle at startup, and they have a hydraulic tensioner. That's the hydraulic chain tensioner right there. I don't know, looks fine to me. Works off of oil pressure. So if you neglect these engines, if you don't change the oil enough, and if you let sludge build up, or if you run the wrong oil weight, they can possibly develop issues. But I've never touched this timing system. I think this was the original valve cover gaskets too. I'll show you guys the valve cover that I took off. It's about to go back on. It's in here, and it's varnished. It's not mint. Sometimes you take apart an engine and you're like, wow, that looks new under there, you know. No, it's got varnish on it. It's got a little, I mean, I guess you could call that sludge, but I mean, everything important is beautiful. It's clean to where the oil flows freely. These spark plug tube seals, I think they were original. They really fought me getting them out. I mean, you had to pick them out piece by piece. They're in dozens of pieces. But this is going to go back on. It had a black gasket on it with no RTV, and that's how they do these from the factory. No RTV, just straight up gasket. It's a flat surface, and I don't think it had ever been done before, so pretty cool to see. These engines aren't really known for leaks, but this is a 2007, so it's the oldest of all of these. So it's going to be, if any one of these is going to leak, it's going to be this one with 412,000. But hey, I'm pretty happy with that. The oil change interval on here is 5,000 to 7,000. That's what I've always did. In the previous owner, from 0 to 250,000, I believe it got also 5,000 to 7,000. He said sometimes he did 7,500, but he did mostly highway miles as well. So pretty happy with that. That's about all I have for you. You want to say that you don't believe, you want to see the odometer? Well, the battery's still hooked up. How about we take a quick look, see what we're at. And this is the original engine. There's 412. Pretty good. Pretty good. FYI, part 2 of this video, here are the O-rings you need to do this job properly. Now, if you have like a 2020 Tundra with this engine, I mean, your O-rings are probably fine. But you know, these older engines, it's just good to take, it's good to replace what you take apart. So I did a lot of research. Here's the torque specs for you. And you can find all this online, but what you have to look for a little bit is these figure 8 O-rings, and then the circular ones, which are within the actual oil passageways. These are essentially OCV oil seals. There's an oil control valve underneath, so let me show you where they go. So when you take this off, they might get stuck in the cylinder head, or they might come with the valve cover, but there's O-ring here, circular one here, 2 figure 8s, and then one more circular one right there. And you need all of those. That's each side is going to have those, because this is variable valve timing on both banks, and those are pretty important. I think they help maintain the oil pressure. So if you want those O-rings, the part numbers are in the description, but you can also look here. I wrote down all the part numbers. This is what you need. You don't necessarily need this coolant line, but I am replacing it too. There you go. Those part numbers will be in the description. That'll help you out with your valve cover job. Well, folks, it's reassembled. Started it, bleeding the cooling system here. Try to get the air bubbles out. I'm gonna have to do this for a while. The last time I bled the cooling system, it took a good 15 minutes of running it, squeezing the hose, getting air bubbles out, refilling coolant, making sure that it doesn't overheat, with air pockets in there, because I had this whole hard line I had removed. I had these lines removed. I had the line of the throttle body out, this line, the heater hoses were off. Basically, a lot of the cooling system I took apart there on the passenger side to do the valve cover gasket. So anyways, smells like burning a little bit, but temperature's just starting to come up. So I have to reset my radio and everything, but I think we're sounding good. We're sounding healthy. Now, let's see. Let's cover one last thing. People have asked what kind of oil I use. I haven't had too many questions on it, but I wanted to talk about the oil spec for these trucks because people believe that Toyota's factory spec is not good. They want to run a heavier oil than 0W20. These engines specify 0W20 or 5W20 on the old ones, but even in 2007, 0W20, that's recommended. Of course, the manual does say you can run heavier oil in extreme operating conditions or in other countries. For example, when these trucks are sold with this engine in the Middle East, they say run 5W30. I get it. It's a very hot climate there, but there's nothing wrong with 0W20. This is what I run in this engine. A lot of people are convinced that the EPA is out to get you, that the thin oil spec is only for fuel economy regulations. Yes, that's part of it. But the engine was designed, engineered, tested on 0W20, and in fact, it runs most efficiently on 0W20. Not only that, but worth noting, a zero weight oil, this first number here, that's the viscosity on a cold start. When the engine's dead cold, say a cold winter's morning, you want the engine to flow best, and it flows best at a thinner weight. So this is actually better protection for your engine than 5W30 in the wintertime if you live in a cold climate where you have some really cold starts. The cold start is really the time when an engine wears. I'm not a mechanical engineer, but I do know a little bit. It's that generally when an engine's at operating temperature and all is going well, you're not getting a lot of wear. It's only when on cold starts. So there's nothing wrong with running 0W20 in these trucks. A lot of people just kind of have conspiracy theories that it has to be 5W30. This is proof that at 412,000 miles, it sounds smooth, runs like a sewing machine, doesn't have a timing chain tensioner problem, and I run 0W20. It's fine. The oil pressure's fine. If you want to run heavier oil, you go for it. It's your truck. But personally, I see no problem with 0W20. You do get a little bit better fuel economy on it too, which is good. I mean, it's not an efficient truck. I'd want it to get the best gas mileage that it can get. So that's all I have to say on that subject. There's a lot of debates online. Run whatever oil you want, but nothing wrong with the specification that Toyota engineered and tested the engine with. Anyway, that's all for you folks. Have a good one.